Welcome everybody to Transformative or Traditional. We are here to verify or debunk current news headlines, events, or policies. Here to help us is our guest, Lauren Tanaka Fortune, along with her expertise in sustainable fashion and circular practices. Lauren is the founder and editor-in-chief of Global Garbs, a fashion magazine highlighting emerging sustainable designers and change makers in the fashion industry. Lauren, thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So today's topics are revolutionary sustainable material use and circular fashion. Are you ready to decide transformative or traditional?
Sure.
All right. Our first article is from the Wall Street Journal, and it's called Nike Files to Sell Digital Sneakers as it Seeks Downloadable Kicks. So a little bit about this. The recent adoption of NFTs by many has further normalized the purchasing of online trademarks and designs. Is Nike's filing to sell virtual kicks a transformative new revenue stream or traditional strategy used by many big brands and names?
I mean, honestly, when I read this article, I was a bit surprised that they hadn't done this already. So, I mean, I would say the whole NFT thing is super transformative, especially in the fashion world. I know that it's just like, I don't know, it's like this crazy new way to buy art, and I'm not an expert in it by any means, but Nike especially, I'm really surprised that they haven't jumped on this, with the sneaker drops and the exclusivity, and, with sustainability, I think it's really transformative as well, just because you can buy a sneaker, a piece of art from Nike and put it on your Instagram or whatever you want to do to show that you have this. And I don't know, I think it's transformative. I think it's changing in the way that we consume. We're not even consuming physical things anymore. So I think it's transformative for sure.
I need like a bell that goes like Mad Money, where it's like transformative.
Yeah.
All right. Our next one is Sustainable Markets Initiative Fashion Task Force launches groundbreaking digital ID. So fashion leaders are working together in the name of sustainable circular markets by utilizing technology to create apparel footprints. These digital ID tags will provide consumers insights into the lifetime of each garment and used material. Is this headline transformative or traditional?
I think it's transformative in the sense that they've actually put together this task force and big brands are coming on board. I think it's transformative that they are, actually creating this technology to track everything. It's traditional in the sense of like, I feel like I've heard this before. And so it kind of depends on how it's executed, to be honest. They can't just say, oh, well, it's made from organic cotton or it's made here. It's like, where are they going to actually trace the entire supply chain and like, how are they going to do it? So I do think it is transformative for sure, but I guess it just depends on how it's executed.
All right. Our next one is Ethical Fashion Initiative to launch Paris Fashion Week events. So we got to dive in a little bit more to understand what this is. The headline is a little bit ambiguous, to say the least. So what has been described as an accelerator for African brands seems to be transitioning into a much more robust fashion week initiative, including what they say are opportunities to decarbonize supply chains and boost in social capital. Is this EFI project transformative or traditional?
I think it's transformative. I follow EFI, and I think that what they're doing to boost these artisan communities in Africa is really great. I think it's kind of traditional also because they're trying to work with these designers and give them capital in developing countries, and I don't think that's anything new that we've seen in terms of like doing it in the Southeast Asia, or you know what I mean? So I think it's transformative what they're doing to hopefully propel these communities and work with these luxury brands. Like I think EFI is great, but I hope that it's not just about, oh, well, this is this big brand and we're investing this amount of money. And, at the end of the day, is it all about the money kind of situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, this
So
is totally,
hopefully,
I feel like there's a little bit of a trend right now where it's like, hey, great headline. Now we want to see the follow through. Now we've gotten to the last one. The Fashion Transparency Index wants to change fashion for the better. So the Fashion Transparency Index aims to expose top brands and their practices in an effort to push consumers to more sustainable articles of clothing, as well as encourage brands to be more honest and open with their practices. Now, there's a lot to dig in here that we skipped over, but what do you think after reading this article? Transformative or traditional?
so this one was tough because it's transformative in the sense that, what Fashion Revolution is doing is truly transformative because they're giving the consumer the ability to go through the top fashion companies in the world and to dive into, the everything that they're doing in terms of sustainability and fair trade and whatnot. It's traditional for me because these reports, they come out every single season, and it seems like every single season, like the companies aren't, little increments here and there, they're making changes, but it's not pushing the needle as fast as I think it should. But once again, it's one of those things like Ethical Fashion Initiative, what Fashion Revolution is doing is really transformational because they're really trying to push that conversation forward to the end consumer and to help put pressure on these brands, which I think is something that that is transformative because brands will listen to the customer if it's I think what they do is great because sometimes it reflects in social media, and you'll see that people just flooding these brands, like if they do anything wrong, and they if Fashion Revolution calls them out, they'll go and flood their social media. So other customers will see, oh, what's going on with this? So I think that it's really transformative what they're doing. The article itself, maybe not so much, just because it's been going on for 6-7 years now, or what they've been doing. But transparency, definitely transformative for sure, and what they're doing transformative.
Amazing. I feel like we've got a lot of follow up here for these articles. So we're going to have you back on to take a look back and see what happened. But thank you
Yeah.
so much for diving in and debunking ESG and SDG items today. But before we let you go, I want to hear about your transformative work. Tell us one thing that you're focused on right now that you're really excited about and we can share with our community.
I guess I'm launching the 5th issue of Global Garbs. It's a digital publication highlighting emerging designers in sustainable fashion and change makers. So people that are actually making a difference, similar to your community, but specifically in fashion. And yeah, just educating people, but also bringing a fun element of trends and shopping that you can buy from small brands and not these giant conglomerates. So
100%. I'm into that. And so how can people follow you and sign up for the magazine?
you can head to globalgarbs.com and you can actually download the latest issue right now for free. And then we're switching over in a few weeks to issue 5. So all you need is your email address and you can download for free.
Amazing. All right, that is it for this week's Transformative or Traditional. If you would like more insight into implementing positive ESG and SDG outcomes, follow systemCHANGR on social media or dive into our community think tank of experts. You can find that at systemschangr.com, and that's changer without the E. All right, see you next week.